For our scripture, we're going to read from Psalm 139, and we'll do this responsively. So I'll read parts, and then every other slide you'll read. It will be in bold. So let's try this together. Beautiful psalm from 139th Psalm. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from far away. You search out my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it completely. You hem me in, behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is so high that I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there, your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, and night wraps itself around me, even the darkness is not dark to you. The night is as bright as the day, for darkness is as light to you. For it was you who formed my inward parts. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are all your works that I know so very well. My frame was not hidden from you, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes beheld my uniform. In your book were written all the days that were formed for me, when none of them has yet existed. How weighty to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. I try to count them. They are more than the sand. I come to the end, and I am still with you. Oh, that you would kill the wicked, O God, and that the bloodthirsty would depart from me. Those who speak of you maliciously and lift themselves up against you for evil. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you? I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my thoughts. See if there is any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. And then just from 1 Samuel, 16th chapter, verse 7. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord does not see as mortals see. They look on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. I've been wondering about something all week. It's a question that makes me just a little bit uncomfortable. What would actually happen if the people sitting next to you today knew what was really going on inside of you? I mean everything. Not the polite version, not the edited version. I'm good at those. The real one, the real version. Would anything fall apart? Would we lose anything by revealing that? Or would something finally begin? I saw this this past week. It was about social media. Social media is where we go to show people we're okay so that they don't find out we're not. And I thought that that's true, right? I mean, I do it all the time. I post good stuff. But it's not just social media. It's also the church. We've gotten really good at curating our lives, cropping out the messy parts, editing out the tears. On Sunday morning, we get all dressed up, and just before we leave, we put on this invisible mask that says, "I'm fine." And we show people the version of ourselves that's holding it all together. The smiling version that says, "Look at me, I'm so busy. I am so busy doing wonderful things. Look at me, I'm so blessed." That's the version, right? I remember visiting someone in our church one time, this church, who had just lost a loved one, and they said they wished there was a section of our church that was just, you could get under it and just kind of hide there so nobody would see her when she cried in church. She just never felt like she could do that, or people would leave her alone and not ask questions where she would have to be real. We are that kind of people, aren't we? We do this to protect ourselves, I guess. We lie. We fake it. But God doesn't follow our Instagrams. God does not follow our highlight reels. God sees us for who we are, unedited. One of the things that fascinates me about K-pop culture, and we're talking about K-pop culture because of this movie, is how perfect everything looks and how perfect these folks in these bands are. The choreography is flawless if you've ever watched it. It is incredible. The smiles never crack. The energy feels endless. I mean, these folks are rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. They're amazing artists. But if you look behind the curtain, you learn, just like most of our performers in America, that many of these performers struggle with anxiety, depression, eating orders, exhaustion. They look so powerful on the stage, but they're kind of like Elvis. Remember? Elvis was great on stage, but his life underneath, what a mess, right? They look so powerful, but off stage, they're fragile. They're bruised. They're broken. In the movie K-pop Demon Hunters, Rumi is the main character. And she is one of the ones who looks the most confident. She is a leader. She is a star. She's the strong one. But what I love about this movie is behind the scenes, we see her terrified. She feels like she's not enough. That if people saw her, the real her, she feels like the whole world would fall apart. And that question comes back. What would actually happen if people saw you, the real you? When God sends Samuel to anoint a new king, Samuel looks for the tallest and the strongest and the most impressive one. In my head, I see him looking for like Tom Selleck or Brad Pitt. Cindy loves Brad Pitt, by the way. Or even worse, George Clooney. Oh my goodness, I cannot stand that guy. I can't stand him. He is just too good looking. I can't compete with a guy like that, you know? But God says, people look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks inside at our hearts. God isn't scanning the room for who looks put together. God is listening for who is brave enough to tell the truth. Psalm 139 says, "O Lord, you have searched me and known me. Before you speak, God already knows. Before you pretend, God already sees you." Kind of like my mother. So the real question isn't, does God know the real you? That's not the question. The real question is, who else does? Who else have you actually been brave enough to tell? Most of us live in this quiet fear. If people really knew me, I still do this sometimes when I think about Cindy. If she really knew me, if she really knew me, everything would fall apart, I mean, if people really knew me, would they accept me for who I am? We assume the danger is exposure, telling the truth. We assume the risk is honesty. We assume being seen is what's going to cost us, right? But here's what I've started to wonder this week. What if we've got it wrong? What if we've got it backwards? What if the real danger isn't that people will see the real you, but the real danger is that no one ever sees you? What if the real danger is that you spend your whole life being liked, but never actually being known? Surrounded by people, but fundamentally alone. Have you ever been there? Big crowd of people, and you're going like, here I am, right? And nobody knows you. A theologian named Roberta Bondi, she's more of a kind of just a wonderful Christian writer, spiritual writer. She tells a story of a close friend of hers who had cancer. And after months of treatment, she had stopped going to church, partly because she had lost her hair. So one Sunday, Roberta finally convinces her to come back to church. And after worship and during worship, people kept coming up to her and say, your faith is going to make you strong. Your faith is going to make you strong. Your faith will get you through this. And she just smiled, and nodded. She had a scarf around her head. But at the fellowship meal, she finally had had enough. And she stood up and got everyone's attention, and she took off her scarf and let her hair, which wasn't there, be exposed. And with tears in her eyes, she said, listen, my friends, you keep telling me that my faith is going to make me well, but to be honest with you, it's gone. Cancer has taken it. And then she said, you know what's going to get me through this? It's not my faith. It's yours. I need your faith today. I think that's one of the truest lines I've ever heard. It's so true. Because sometimes faith isn't something we feel. Sometimes faith is something we borrow from our community. Sometimes we can't believe for ourselves, so we let someone else carry us, believe for us. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's community. When I was a kid, we used to play this game of hide and seek, and one time I hid so well that nobody could find me. I have a feeling my brothers did it intentionally and quit, but at first I felt like I was winning, I mean, the first 20 minutes I thought, wow, look at me, I'm such a good I know how to hide, man. But after a while, the game got really quiet and too quiet. And I remember thinking, what if they stop looking for me? Because let's look at it this way. Hide and seek, in the end, isn't so fun if it's just hiding. It is about being found, right? Sometimes we do that with other people and with God. We hide our fear, our grief, our doubts, our exhaustion. And listen, there's a time for that. I get it. We don't have to share this with everybody, right? But there's a price we pay for it. At first it feels safe, but after a while, it gets lonely. United Methodist pastors were surveyed last 3 years in the Pacific Northwest, and we were asked how many friends we had that we could really talk to, and 34% of the pastors couldn't list one friend. In the movie we're watching together, K-pop Demon Hunters, Rumi, the main character, doesn't lose her power when she tells the truth. I just love this part of the movie for that. It's so wonderful. It's such a wonderful lesson to teach our children and all of us. Rumi actually grows stronger when she finds the strength to tell the truth. And her community comes to bat, and it becomes a real community. Real faith isn't about saying, I believe. Sometimes it's saying, I can't believe right now. Can you hold this for me? We live in a time, folks, where we see the battle mainly out there. But I'm just going to say this quite frankly. The battle is never only out there. It's always in here too. That's the way it works. We can't just point fingers. We need to look inside sometimes. The battle sometimes, along with being out there, is within us. And our faith continues to say, God will meet us there if we are willing to be found. If we're willing to uncover our true self and just be truthful. The woman with cancer in that story said, not my faith, your faith. I need you. Hide and seek isn't about hiding. It's kind of about being found. Jesus in Gethsemane didn't perform strength at the Garden of Gethsemane. He just told God the truth. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? He just let his sorrow out. Rumi in the movie didn't lose her power when she told the truth. She became stronger. So maybe faith isn't saying a creed that says, I believe. Maybe faith is saying, I can't believe right now. Can you hold this for me? The church is not a place to put on your best performance. Look at me, I put on a suit today because I didn't know if my sermon was going to be very good, and I thought, I better have something good looking here. But it's a place to take off the mask, because the opposite of faith is not doubt. The opposite of faith is hiding. Who this week are you willing to let see you? All of you. Today I have put together a creed. This is a different I believe statement, and I thought we would do it, wouldn't you know? Not sure I have it all. I didn't realize she put it up there. Cindy, is there the words to it? Oh, thank you, Brad. This one just has the we believe too. Sorry. That's all right, Brad. Let's just try it this way and we'll see what happens. So if you could respond with the people. We believe that there are days when belief comes easily and days when it... We believe we believe that when our faith feels thin or absent, the faith of others can hold us up. We believe that God is not offended by our weakness, nor surprised by our doubt. We believe that honesty is holier than pretending, and truth is braver than performance. We believe. I can't believe right now. Can you hold this for me? And all the people said,